Hi, everyone. Welcome back or welcome for the first time. Today's session is going to be about journal writing, and journal writing as a way to get to know yourself, or a way to be company for yourself, or a way to keep a record of your experience. And before we start that, I'm just going to welcome you to take a moment to just land in your body with me. I'll use the language of invitation. And the language of invitation means that you have permission to hear what's happening and choose what's right for you to try or not try. So the first thing that I'm going to invite you to try doing is just notice how it feels to be sitting in your body right now. How does it feel to be sitting in your chair? And you might squirm a little, you might feel the cushion of your chair or the back of your chair. I invite you to just notice what it's like to be a body in the room that you're in the chair that you're in. And if there's any shifting that would make you more comfortable, if there's anything that you've been holding stiff for a while, feel free to shake it out. Yeah, maybe a little stretch of your neck. And then the next thing I'm going to invite you to do is orient yourself to the space that you're in. When we are in enclosed spaces for long periods of time, it can feel like the walls are closing in on us sometimes. Some of you have been alone for a long time. Some of you have been in close quarters with other people for a long time. And so I'm just going to invite you to notice the space that you're in. And that would mean allowing your eyes and your head to wander and see what you see in the space around you. And as you notice what you see in the space around you, I invite you to notice what you like in the space around you. I invite you to notice the quality of light. I invite you to notice the quality of temperature, the quality of sound. Are you in silence? Are there children in the house? Is there a television playing somewhere in your house? What are the sounds in the space that you are in right now? And I invite you to notice what is familiar that you haven't noticed in a long time. Some detail of this space that you're in. What do you see around you? Do you have a book? Do you have a picture? Do you have a plant? Do you have a pillow on your bed or your sofa? Do you have a pair of socks that are under a piece of furniture? What do you have in your space that you notice? And I invite you to notice how you feel inside as you notice where you are. I invite you to notice what parts of you feel safe and what parts of you feel less safe. I invite you to notice what parts of you have connected with something that you like in the space that you're in, and what parts of you are wishing for something else. And I invite you to notice how those feelings feel in your body. Now I invite you to notice how those feelings affect how you're breathing. And I invite you to notice how your breathing affects how calm or nervous or energized, peaceful, relaxed. What's your state in this moment in your body, in this room? And I'm going to invite you to notice that all the feelings that we have and all the things that we see around us are opportunities for us to free associate. We have habits of association. We have habits of seeing. And when we look around a space that we've been in and we see things that we've ignored for some time, we're breaking a habit of attention. And writing is a way of breaking a habit of attention. So for a long time, I kept a daily practice of writing. And then when I began to travel and work differently, my writing habit became very irregular. But I have had a practice for years and years of free writing, which is a way of writing quickly and uninterrupted as a way of just capturing thoughts, because our thoughts pass so quickly from moment to moment. They're like dreams. So we may think or go on the assumption that we don't have many thoughts, but we have habits of how we think. We have habits of how we pay attention. And I travel with a little book, a little blank book, and that's what I used to write in. On this book right here, The Artist's Way, has been an inspiration for me for years. And it's a way of practicing doing what's called free writing. But for now, and I even have a favorite little pen, it's just a sharp little thing that gives me a nice clean way to write. I don't have very good handwriting, so it makes it possible for me to just be a little more legible. So the thing, that little bit of orienting, looking around in space, feeling our bodies, that's not a typical sit still and become nirvana kind of meditation, but it is a way of paying attention to what's happening right now in the moment and just landing a little bit. So in the email invitation, we invited everybody to have some kind of paper to write on and some kind of writing implement. For this kind of writing, it's very important, if you can, to engage in the physical act of writing with your hand. It's a very different experience than typing on a computer or typing in your phone or your iPad. So if at all possible, maybe not during this live session, but if you're going to do this later, you'll pause it and get a real pen and paper or a pencil and paper. So the idea of a free write is an interesting one. It's one where you start writing and you don't stop. You don't edit yourself. You don't say, oh, that's not good enough. You don't freeze and say, I can't do this. Whatever comes to mind, even I can't do this. If I can't do this is what comes up, you write down, I can't do this. And your thoughts, you just follow your thoughts and let your thoughts pour out of the pen onto the page as quickly as you can. And the quicker you do it, the more interesting it is. So I'm going to show you the clock on my phone. I have this little timer and it's set for 2 minutes, which is a pretty short amount of time. I've been talking to you for a lot longer than that. I've been talking to you for about 9 minutes. So the idea of writing for just a quick little bit, I'm going to invite you to find something in the space that you're in that you were attracted to earlier when you were orienting and looking around the space that you were in. And I'm going to invite you to let that thing that you liked, that you found pleasing or familiar in some way, to be a jumping off point for you. So I'm going to invite you to get your pen and paper ready. And get a comfortable position and maybe look at that object one more time and just take a breath in. and a breath out. And then I'm going to start the timer and invite you to just write for 2 minutes, and I'll join you in writing for 2 minutes. So it's going. It's kind of a magic thing to just write really quickly and not care what you're saying, really. Just see what happens. So that was a really quick 2 minutes. I hope that was quick for you. It's funny, on the video, 2 minutes can feel like a really long time. So the interesting thing is that what we say can very often, when we write this way, surprise us. We can get messages about what we're feeling that we didn't know we were feeling. We might free associate about liking something or remembering somebody from just jumping off objects in our own space. We can also write about our bodies, ourselves, our experiences. For some of you who've never written before, I'll say that sometimes it's better to not read what you write right away. Sometimes it's better to give it 24 hours or 24 days. Just write and write and write and let things pour out. I'm a songwriter, and we often do these free writing exercises, not knowing what's going to happen. I started free writing from the poetry community in this way. And we write books, we write songs, we write letters. I think this last thing I'm going to invite you to do is another. 2 minutes was pretty short. I'm going to invite you to try a little bit longer one, maybe 4 minutes. And I won't have music for you. I don't think you need any music. I'm going to invite you to choose to either write yourself a small message. I'm hoping it would be a kind message. Or if you'd like to jump off of something in your space again, a sound, an object, a picture, something outside your window, and just free write, meaning write as quickly as you can without crossing anything out, without editing. Just write, and see what comes out. And I will set the timer for 4 minutes, and we're on again. And I'm here with you as you write. I'm writing to. Wow. Okay. So that is 4 minutes. Interesting how fast it goes. This is a recorded session. This is a way for you to, if you don't have time to finish it now, you can come back and watch this later. But this is just a moment of time to share with you where we could write together. I recommend setting your clock for 1 minute, 2 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes, and say hello to yourself once a day. Say hello, write yourself a letter. Hi, how are you? I'm doing okay now. I had a really rough time the other day. So just a little thing. It's just a safe little window that you can pour out and put down and put away. And for some of you who've been writing for a long time, this is not new, but for some of you, maybe this experience is new. In another session, I'll invite you to take some of the things that you've written and find things that you like, that you'd like to develop more. We can turn things into song, repetition. I'm sure many of you have questions, and we're going to leave the chat room open for about 5 minutes so you can write messages, and I will take time to respond. This Q&A part won't be part of the video that you get later, but your responses and your feedback are welcome. So thank you for spending a little time with me today. Okay.